I Hate This Place gameplay trailer debuts, showcases 80s aesthetic and tense survival horror atmosphere. So this was a game I wanted to go ahead and do a reaction to, just because I was able to kind of check out the trailer for it and everything like that, and it looked like it was a pretty interesting game. Now, come to find out, this is actually based off of a comic book series. So the fact that they were able to actually turn it into a video game, I think, is actually pretty cool. Especially because, I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm a big comic book fan or anything like that by any means, but the fact that they're able to kind of take this from a comic and actually turn it into a video game, I think is actually pretty cool. Especially considering that we'll see here with the gameplay trailer and everything like that, it really does seem like it has like a good aesthetic and atmosphere that kind of fits with being able to make a video game with it. So looks pretty good, and yeah, so we'll go ahead and check out the trailer here, and then I'll give my thoughts as we go along here. So let's go ahead and check this out. I'm gonna go ahead and zoom in just a little bit, bring it up a little bit closer, and yeah. I hate this place.
Okay, vague and unsettling. Good start. I was here with my friend Lou. You know where she is?
I gotta say, one of the things that I'm kind of like a little bit indifferent though about this is that I guess it looks like it's gonna be a crafting game, and I don't know. When it comes to crafting games, sometimes I can get into them, sometimes I can't. It's just I feel like it becomes a little bit tedious to having to collect all these different items and kind of use them to craft some of the stuff. And that was one of the reasons why I wasn't a big fan of Resident Evil 4 remake, was because the original Resident Evil 4, there was no crafting involved in it at all, but for some reason they ended up bringing that to Resident Evil 4 remake, which I wasn't necessarily a fan of. So ever since then, I never had really much of an issue with it before, but after that, I feel like it left a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth. So anytime I see something crafting, I'm just like, we'll see. Hopefully, it's done well, kind of a thing.
I didn't think we'd actually summon anything. It was a joke, a dare, mostly.
The Necronomicon.
You called out to him, Eleanor, and he listened. That carries a weight, a cost. The ones that dwell here, they noticed her, as they will notice you. They do not see, but they hear.
And that's one of the things I like too, is the fact that it does seem like it has some stealth aspects to it, and it looks like she's carrying a gun with her. So hopefully there are some moments where you can kind of go a little bit into like the offensive, and then be more what's the word I'm looking for? Aggressive when it comes down to playing. You know what I mean? You don't have to hide all the time, but being able to sneak around, that is one of the things I like being able to do in some games as well. Whenever it's done well, kind of a thing. And I feel like this, from what it looks like, this might be something that can pull it off pretty good.
Hear the panic in a heartbeat.
Oof.
Fine, I'll bite. But if I die in there, I am haunting you.
If you die in there, perhaps we'll meet again. Under different circumstances.
I Hate This Place. Coming 2025. We got Switch, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S. So yeah, I think this game looks pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and play it again. I'm just gonna mute it this time. I feel like the creatures are interesting, like the monsters and everything like that, because you have some of them that she's going up against where they kind of have more of like a darker tone to them, or their colors are pretty muted. But and then it shows other ones where they're really bright and colorful, which I think is pretty interesting. And then, like I was saying, I like the fact that they were able to bring this from a comic book world and give it that kind of art style, which I think is really good. Some of the colors, like the enemies, some areas are kind of a little bit dark, muted or darker, but things like that thud 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 as she walks around, I don't know why, but I think that's pretty cool. Or like the bam as she's shooting, because it just kind of reminds me of like the old school like Batman TV show and stuff like that, when like it shows him punch someone and then that bam comes up. The fact that they were able to kind of include that here, I think, is pretty awesome. And it also reminds me a little bit of like Into the Spider-Verse. You know what I mean? Whenever Peter and Miles are shooting around the webs and everything like that, and it has that thwip as they shoot the webs, I think is really cool. So Yeah, I like that. The fact that, like I said, it has a lot of areas where it seems to be very colorful, I think is pretty cool. Let me see here. So stuff like this, where it has kind of like the neon colors kind of standing out and everything, and then with the enemies that she goes up against, I think is awesome. The difference in colors, like right here, the way that she's kind of a little bit brighter, colorful, while the monsters she's going up against are a little bit darker and more kind of flat toned when it comes down to the look of it. I think that's awesome. I think it looks really good here in this type of aesthetic and atmosphere. And then what was this? Got the little come to me, man of the horns. So yeah, it does look like it is kind of one of those things, kind of like I joked earlier with the Necronomicon, where it does look like she summons something and it brings forth all these monsters and enemies. So who knows if these are like demons or they're like zombies kind of a thing. From this photo right here, I'm guessing it's going to be more along the lines of it's being a demon, as well as the fact that it shows right here like the little ritual kind of area that it looks like she's in. So I'm not sure if this is kind of like in the beginning of the game where she's kind of either reading a book or she kind of does some type of prayer or ritual or something like that that brings forth these enemies. But yeah, it looks like that's going to be the main focus of the story, which I feel like is pretty good. And then again, like I was saying earlier, I like the fact that the colors of some of the monsters, some of them obviously are muted, but the fact that you get these bright colors right here, I don't know why, but for some reason I feel like it just works, especially with this kind of little world and everything like that that they're able to do. And being based off of a comic book again, I feel like it's pretty cool to kind of see something like this in a video game because this isn't too common where you get this kind of look. I mean, if there's anyone that can think of any games or anything like that and you want to comment and let me know which ones that'll be kind of similar, be my guest. But yeah, for me personally, I haven't really seen something like this too much in some of these games, kind of with this type of look, which I think is really cool. And then what else we got? Just her going up against the monsters. So I'm curious too with the way that it looks like, if it is one of those things, the way that aiming is, if you let's say have it like on PS5 or like the Switch or Xbox, if you're just moving the joystick and it's kind of just moving the rectal or reticle around in the direction that you want it, kind of like a top down kind of shooter where it just kind of aims in that direction pretty easily. And so yeah, so you got some of the different colors, which I think is cool with the monsters. And yeah, I hate this place. So, and then I don't know what it says on her shirt. Parans. But yeah, I think this looks like it's gonna be pretty good. The story is pretty simple, nothing like too crazy or anything like that. We've kind of seen that before, kind of like I said with the Evil Dead and the Necronomicon, where they summon something. But yeah, from being based off of a comic, I'm a little bit curious as well. So if there is anyone that actually has read this comic before, if you could give more insight as to what the whole story is, you know what I mean? I'd really appreciate it because that'd be pretty cool to kind of hear it from someone that actually knows the story or is a fan of this game. But yeah, the fact that we're going to be getting a video game for this, for something based off of a comic, I again think is really cool. And I'm kind of hoping we can kind of see some stuff like this more in the future, where they do have something, some video game, I mean, some comic books that are really good and can be adapted in a certain way and being able to do it in a video game form. I did the video the other day on Invincible, them doing a fighting game for that, which I thought was really cool. So if there are some good stories that, you know what I mean, have comic books that are done that not many people know about, being able to actually see them come to fruition in video game form, I think would be really smart and really cool to see, you know what I mean? Because it'll be able to bring some light to these comic books as well as bring new fans into these kind of franchises and everything like that, which I think would be awesome. So yeah, I think this game looks like it's going to be a good time, and looking forward to seeing what we're going to get, a little bit more information as we come closer to the release date and everything like that. So those are my thoughts on that. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Again, if you are a fan of this comic book itself, could you give some more insight into your thoughts as to how you feel about this game coming to fruition and them doing a video game based off of it and everything like that? So if you guys could like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you guys have been watching this long, I really appreciate it. It means a lot. And yeah, until next time, Harmonic out. Peace.